The recent misadventures of Bobby Lashley and Lana on WWE TV won't soon be forgotten, no matter how hard I try. A series of wild angles seemingly crafted to garner huge views on YouTube rather than, huge stars on the main roster saw the pair get into all sorts of bother, which, much like a bad smell, will linger far longer than the relationship itself. Lana and Lashley could well be split by next year, and though the ravishing Russian will surely remain a key part of WWE storylines away from the Almighty, few will be able to separate her from him regardless of how or where she progresses next. This love story, if we're generously calling it that, will leave a scar. These stolen moments, though, barely registered a bruise. I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and these are 10 on-screen wrestling couples you never knew existed. But before we get into it, do you know what my favourite couple is? In fact, it's kind of a three-way. Like, share, and subscribe. Nice. Number 10. Adam Cole and Serena Deeb. The Panama City Playboy has moved away from any womanizing ways since becoming one of NXT's biggest ever stars, but Adam Cole's Hollywood good looks, something which my wife consistently reminds me of, I wonder why that is, were first capitalized on by Vince McMahon in 2010, when CM Punk's supposedly straight-edge sidekick Serena was caught on camera falling off the wagon alongside him. This bar scuffle featuring Cole, Punk, Gallows and Serena foreshadowed the real-life reasons for her release and was an extremely unsatisfying way to tear a hole in the group. Serena was showered in scorn by her society friends as the future Undisputed Era leader fled the scene. He wouldn't perform for McMahon again until he stormed the TakeOver Brooklyn stage in 2017. Number 9. Taka, Michinoku and Sunny. It spoke more to her misuse than anything else as WWE's new generation gave way to the burgeoning Attitude Era.
What about the Attitude Era?
But Sunny ending up as a head cheerleader for light heavyweight newcomer Taka Michinoku looked and felt as much like a lame Vince McMahon rib as a new direction for the golden-haired fox. By early 1998, she'd been supplanted by Sable as the company's focused upon female when they only had the concentration span for one. Look lads, boobs! And rumoured personal problems appeared to be interfering with the professional qualities that had briefly catapulted her to the top of WWE. No longer worthy of creative investment in the eyes of the powerful, she was lumbered with ring announcer roles for matches of equal disinterest. This began with whatever Max Mini was up to, but ultimately extended to the light heavyweight league and a brief tryst with Taka that was kind of mostly confined to stolen moments on Saturday shows or winks and nudges on Raw. By the summer, Sunny was gone completely, as was McMahon's interest in heavily promoting Taka as his light heavyweight talisman. Indeed. Number 8. Jeff Hardy and Trish Stratus. Perhaps a case of a couple being more forgotten than never thought of. It seems inconceivable that Trish Stratus and Jeff Hardy were involved in an angle together, and nothing about it really stuck other than the charismatic Enigma's makeup on her face. The romantic angle between the pair seemed to be just another Hail Mary from WWE to try and make Jeff Hardy stay. There were even teasers of a feud with Shawn Michaels that also never materialized. But like the others, it was futile. Their relationship ended when his tenure did too. He wanted no more to be Stratus's on-screen beau than he did a WWE star in general. Number 7. Shane Douglas and Sensational Sherri. I tell you what, Shane Douglas didn't half love having digs at Ric Flair at the height of his mid-90s ECW fame, all the while portraying an extreme version of the Nature Boy that the Arena faithful couldn't help but adore. Such was the case when his largely forgotten stint with manager Sensational Sherri came to an end before her 1994 signing with WCW. It was a rather unique situation. Douglas looked every bit the franchise with such an experienced and deadly valet, but held her in utter contempt when it became apparent she'd be heading to Atlanta and to Flair's side. In the retrospectively uncomfortable but of the time conclusion of their arc, Sherri turned on Douglas during a tag team match, resulting in the tweener heavyweight champion pile-driving her all the way out of the organisation. Fans went berserk, such was the rather unnerving thirst for male-on-female violence at the time. Lovely. Number 6, the Sandman and Missy Hyatt. Missy Hyatt was a long-standing WCW favourite as a television host and announcer before she left the promotion in 1993 under something of a cloud. Joining the Sandman in 1996 after he found himself without Nancy Woman Sullivan following her move in the other direction, Hyatt repurposed herself for the extreme environment by swapping cocktail dresses for short skirts and tops cut low enough for Sandman to drink booze from her breasts. Nice. The braying Philadelphia hordes reacted, well, accordingly, and the pair developed quite surprising chemistry together for the brief period they were an on-screen item. Unfortunately for Hyatt, she was no longer part of the act or company by the time the group made it to pay-per-view in 1997. Right as ECW grew, she fell out of sight and mind of all three major promotions. Number 5, Jamie Noble and Layla. From the gutter to the stars, Jamie Noble's life looked up when he hooked up with Diva Search winner Layla in 2008, but their romance proved fleeting as soon a much more suitable suitor came her way. He tried and failed to date the dancing diva during the summer of 2008, but only won her hand for real when he fought for her honour against megalomaniacal King of the Ring, William Regal. Defeating him finally appeared to be the missing ingredient, despite her prior indication that she, quote, wouldn't date short men. But the feelings were, well, only short-term. After Regal got his win back, because even these nothing programs catch 50-50 fever, Layla admitted that she'd been wooed by the elder statesman. Where are you going to take me, Jamie? To the local Waffle House in your pickup truck? Was her assessment of a future with the trailer park dweller done good? You see, the fairy tale was over. Instead, she was off down a nuclear sub in Regal's jam jar. Sorry. Number 4, Cody Rhodes and Caitlyn. Here, what do you think of Caitlyn? Cody Rhodes asked Damien Sandow during a backstage segment on SmackDown, and this came weeks just after the two had an awkward exchange in a corridor during an episode of Main Event. It was all very sweet, actually. It seemed destined to lead to something deeper between the pair, but it never developed beyond the early stages, and Rhodes was about to embark on the most prosperous run of his career alongside his brother and dad, rather than a potential girlfriend. Outside of a minuscule reference to it during an angle later that year that featured Caitlyn speculating over having a secret admirer, the whole thing was soon dropped. Number 3, CM Punk and Mickie James. The duo were paired in TNA in 2003 by virtue of their place in The Gathering, Raven's contemporary take on his nest/flock gimmick, previously successful in ECW and in WCW. Alongside Julio De Niro and Cassidy Riley, they were his minions and worshippers as he attempted to wrestle the NWA Championship from lead babyface, obviously, Jeff Jarrett, during the early days of the organisation. It was the last role Alexis Lurie, better known as Mickie James, had before she travelled to Stamford. But she'd make her debut as Punk's valet when the pair wrestled on an unaired Sunday night heat clash just months before her actual arrival. Punk, infamously, had another year to wait for his ECW bow. Number 2, Adam Rose and Becky Lynch. Bit of a cheeky one this, considering how many people Adam Rose surrounded himself with at the height of his success. Also, just look at the bloody size of him now. But as an original reveller just weeks before her awkward Irish dancer debut on NXT, God, I hated that, Becky Lynch actually made it to Monday Night Raw on the Exotic Express, a full year before the Irish Lass Kicker did. Joining Braun Strowman, Simon Gotch, and a host of other future main roster members, the future WrestleMania main eventer was merely one of the dancing many that night. A long, long way away from becoming the man, Lynch wasn't even an acknowledged woman at this point, but a rosebud, joining the new NXT sensation as he made his May 2014 debut on the show. Lynch later admitted that she had to beg even to get this spot, shortly before her demeaning Full Sail University debut as the jigging fool mocked by her opponents Summer Rae, Charlotte Flair, and Sasha Banks. Doesn't age well, this. Number 1, AJ Styles and Mickie James. 2003 marked the best and worst of times for professional wrestling. WWE's 2001 victory over WCW came as ECW also hit the skids, forcing wrestlers to either impress Vince McMahon or face an unknown oblivion that had once been extremely fertile. In the wake of a potential disaster, though, a new independent uprising began in earnest. Names on the fringe found low-level fame with brand new company Ring of Honor, whilst others managed to grab spots underneath lackluster Jeff Jarrett main events for burgeoning new brand NWA TNA. AJ Styles secured all of the above. Labelled phenomenal for how well he flew, Styles became a must-see wrestler that promotions knew had the attention of an audience no longer interested in much WWE had to sell. This earned him a solid run in Ring of Honor before a divide with TNA forced him to pick sides, and a run that included a stint as tag team champion with fellow industry innovator Amazing Red and future WWE colleague Mickie James. The unit were short-lived, but lots like them were. The changing face of the industry forced the flexibility before things gradually settled down later that decade. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. Plus, you can check out more recent videos here. Thanks for watching. I've been Adam from What Culture, and I'll see you soon.